Have you ever wondered what truly makes Mouloodun Nabi so significant in the Islamic faith? This celebration, steeped in rich history and tradition, holds a profound place in the hearts of billions around the world. But what is it that truly sets it apart? Is it the joyous commemorations, the heartfelt prayers, or perhaps the deep-rooted reverence for the Prophet Muhammad? Let's embark on a journey to understand the profound significance and history of Mouloodun Nabi. The story begins with the birth of the Prophet Muhammad on the 12th day of Rabi al-Awwal in the Arabian city of Mecca. This ancient city, nestled between barren hills and sun-scorched desert, was a significant trading hub in the 7th century. The society of Mecca at the time was tribal, where blood ties and lineage determined your standing. It was a society steeped in polytheism, with the Kaaba, the most sacred site in Mecca, housing an array of pagan idols. Morality was often overshadowed by the survival of the fittest, and the weak were often left unprotected. Into this world, on a day that would later be celebrated as Mouloodun Nabi, the Prophet Muhammad was born. His birth was not marked by grand celebrations or fanfare. It was a humble event, reflective of the simple life he would lead and advocate for. The Prophet was born into the esteemed Quraysh tribe, known for their guardianship of the Kaaba. His father, Abdullah, had passed away before his birth, and his mother, Amina, was left to raise him in a society where widows and orphans often faced great hardship. Despite these challenging circumstances, it was clear from the start that there was something special about Muhammad. Stories of his early life speak of a boy who was wise beyond his years, compassionate and just. He grew up to be a man of impeccable character, earning him the titles of Al-Sadiq, the truthful, and Al-Amin, the trustworthy, among his people. The Prophet's birth and early life serve as a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of perseverance and integrity in the face of adversity. The birth of Muhammad was not just the birth of a man, but the birth of a new way of life, a new belief system, a new moral and ethical code that would transform societies and impact billions of lives over the next 14 centuries. This marked the beginning of a new era, one that would forever change the course of human history. Centuries later, Muslims began commemorating this day, a tradition known as Mouloodun Nabi. In the thick tapestry of Islamic history, the emergence of Mouloodun Nabi, or the celebration of the Prophet Muhammad's birth, is a thread that weaves through time and culture. But where did this tradition come from? It's believed that the first observance of Mouloodun Nabi started around the 12th century in Egypt, under the Fatimid dynasty. The rulers at that time encouraged public festivities, including processions, sermons, and food distribution, to honor the birth of the Prophet. It was a day for the community to come together, to celebrate, and to reflect. However, it was not until the Ottoman Empire in the 13th century that Mouloodun Nabi began to gain significant recognition. The Ottomans elevated the event into a major celebration, complete with public declarations, poetry recitations, and grand feasts. The tradition spread across the vast Ottoman territories, reaching from the Middle East to Southeast Europe and even North Africa. Yet, as with any tradition, Mouloodun Nabi has evolved over the centuries. It has adapted to the cultures and customs of the diverse Muslim communities around the world. In some regions, the day is marked with communal prayers and acts of charity. In others, it's a time for family gatherings, sharing meals, and exchanging gifts. Despite these variations, the essence of Mouloodun Nabi remains the same. It's a day to remember and honor the Prophet Muhammad, to reflect on his teachings, and to reaffirm one's commitment to the principles of Islam. It's a day to celebrate the Prophet's message of compassion, unity, and peace. In the modern era, Mouloodun Nabi continues to be a significant event for Muslims worldwide. From the grand mosques of Istanbul to their humble homes in remote villages, the celebration is imbued with a spirit of reverence, joy, and community. So, Mouloodun Nabi is not just a day of celebration, but a day of reflection on the life and teachings of the Prophet Muhammad. But why is Mouloodun Nabi so significant? That's a question that reverberates across minds and hearts. The answer, my dear friends, is multifaceted. Just like the beautiful facets of a well-cut diamond, Mouloodun Nabi, or the birth of the Prophet Muhammad, is a day of profound gratitude. It's a day when we, as Muslims, express our deep thankfulness for the birth of the Prophet who brought us the principles of Islam. These principles guide our life, giving us a clear path to follow in this complex, often confusing world. It's a day when we say, Alhamdulillah. All praise and thanks be to Allah for gifting us with such a compassionate and wise guide. But that's not all. Mouloodun Nabi is also a day of reflection. It's a day when we pause, step back from the rush of our daily life, and contemplate on the teachings of the Prophet. It's a day when we think about how we can better embody these teachings in our lives. It's a day when we ask ourselves, are we truly following the path of kindness, honesty, and justice that the Prophet laid out for us? Furthermore, Mouloodun Nabi is a celebration. It's a day when we rejoice in the teachings of the Prophet, which have brought light into our lives. It's a day when we share this joy with our family, our friends, and our community. It's a day when we come together in unity and love to honor the life and teachings of the Prophet. In essence, Mouloodun Nabi is a day that brings together the threads of gratitude, reflection, and celebration. It's a day that allows us to connect with our faith on a deeper level, to strengthen our bond with our community, and to renew our commitment to the principles of Islam. The significance of Mouloodun Nabi lies in its ability to unite Muslims around the world in celebration of the Prophet's life and teachings. It's a day that reminds us, no matter where we are in the world, no matter what challenges we face, that we are part of a larger global community bound by the teachings of the Prophet and united in our faith. So, what have we learned about Mouloodun Nabi? We've journeyed together through the heart of a tradition that is deeply entwined with the history and faith of millions worldwide. We first delved into the birth of the Prophet, a momentous event that marked the beginning of a new era in human history. We learned about the circumstances of his birth, his early life, and how these experiences shaped the teachings that he would later impart to the world. We then explored the emergence of Mouloodun Nabi, a celebration that originated centuries after the Prophet's birth. Despite its later inception, it has become an integral part of Islamic culture, observed by Muslims around the globe. This commemoration is not merely a remembrance of the Prophet's birth, but a reflection of his life, his teachings, and the profound impact he left on the world. Finally, we unpack the significance of Mouloodun Nabi, not just as a cultural event, but as a day for spiritual reflection and unity. It's a time for Muslims to revisit the teachings of the Prophet, to reflect on their personal journey of faith, and to unite in their shared belief and love for the Prophet. Mouloodun Nabi is not only a celebration of the Prophet's birth, but a day for Muslims to reflect on his teachings and unite in their shared faith.